Where did I put that? Don't mind me, y'all. I'm just looking for my white paint. And I literally just had it. Like, you know, in your craft room when you just have something and then all of a sudden it's gone. Lauren, howdy, howdy, howdy. Okay, so I had my white paint. If you were my white paint, where would you go? Oh my goodness. You guys, I'm a hot mess. It's okay. Don't mind me. Oh, I bet it's down here. I found it. Found it. Okay. All the time. Thanks, girl. I feel very validated now. Okay, so I have this plethora of stuff going on, and we're gonna make a slimline card today. It's something I don't often do, but we need a few of them. So I have this like warm gray, I have this dark brown, I have my Sweet Sentiment coloring paper, I have a whole bunch of Distress inks. Notice they're not oxides, I'm using Distress today. I have my mixed media stand over here holding all of my brushes. I have our laser cut word here. Hey Paula. These are our new laser cut sentiments. I have the little girl from Howdy that I colored. Hey Pat. And then I have the little wolf too, because I thought maybe I could put him in somehow. I have my candy cup with a super duper cheap toothbrush. I have some white acrylic paint that I like to put in one of our glue holders. And I have my spray bottle. And I just have a little bit of water in it. Okay. The last thing I have here is our Mesa Verde stencil. So here we go. Are you guys ready? Ready to make this a thing? All right. So slimlines, to me, are wicked difficult. So I always forget. I think I have to cut this at 7 because they're 3.5. Right, Lauren? Am I correct? I always forget on slimlines, and you make slimlines sometimes, so you might know. Also, because I have to cut it so large, I need to get out my big boy trimmer. So this is my Caterpillar trimmer. Thank you, love. And I'm gonna cut this at 7. I'm gonna be sure to hold this up against here, and I'm gonna push this over so I get a nice, beautiful, even cut. And then with that being said, since I have this out, I'm just gonna cut this. So this is gonna be folded at 3.5. So I'm gonna cut this 1/8 of an inch smaller. And again, I'm pushing this up against that bar. And then this, I'm also gonna cut 1/8 of an inch smaller. So 3.5 minus 1/4, because I've already cut the other one. Now, these are all 8.5, which means they're all the same length. So I'm gonna take, hi Sharon, I'm gonna take this from 8.5 down 1/8 of an inch. And that side has a little booger on it, so I'm going to cut that part off. So cutting that down 1/8 of an inch, which means this one has to come down 1/4 of an inch. So this will be 8.25, if I can find my right graduation mark there. Okay, so there we go. So now I can put the big boy trimmer away. Now, the other thing I have to do is I have to score this piece of paper. So I have my big boy scorer. This is also from Caterpillar. And I need to score this at 3.5 because that is what a slimline card is. And I always like to double score. I don't know why. It's just an OCD thing. So there we go. There's the pieces of our card. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this. Now there's a lot of people that say you have to fold it into the valley or fold out of the valley or whatever. I fold however the paper folds easiest. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to line up my corners because I have this super cool tool called an espresso. And with the espresso, I can burnish that with no scars and no paper breaking. And I have this nice burnished fold. Then this one is going to go right here. Oh, I must have cut that the wrong way. That's okay though. I kind of like that actually. Oh, because I cut this one first and then this one. Oh, look at me. I'm a terrible person. Y'all didn't stop me from doing that either. Rude. Nope, I want to do it this way. So I want to do this and then about 1/8 of an inch. Make sure I don't cut that. Look at that. There we go. And then this will be framed on this, which could be super cool. Kind of like this little extra on the side, so I'm leaving it. I mean, I would go cut it again, but I'm leaving it. I kind of like it. Okay, so I'm gonna set all of this other stuff aside and we're gonna stencil. So what I'm gonna do, this is our Mesa Verde stencil. And there is a lot of things that you can do with this stencil. I know that Sandy just used it the other day as far as making a background with it, but I wanted to show you kind of how to make it go even further. So for those of you who are interested, we're gonna do some Mesa-ing. I'm also going to take a piece of scrap paper and I'm going to put it under here just in case I go a little wonky. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Mesa itself. Now this is going to be different than what Sandy did, and that's okay. I want the Mesa to be down a little bit further. Because I'm going to focus on the sky. But yes, you can use these in a manner other than intended. So there you go. So I have my Vintage Photo Oxide ink, and that's where I'm going to start. I also have a piece of scratch paper here that I'm going to put up here. Again, just in case I go a little wonky. I know myself and I know what happens when I get into stenciling. So, you know, just in case. There's a lot you can do with it. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to grab just a tissue off of my desk. And I'm gonna wipe this down. Not really gonna matter a whole lot, but just good practice. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it. And I'm gonna make it look a little bit different in that I'm gonna bring these together. Put my mask up here. That one's going down off of the paper, so it doesn't really matter. Oops, my mask is in the way. Can't have that. Now I have to work really hard at breaking up that straight line. Okay, so now I have made a double Mesa, which I think is pretty stinking cool. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is this little piece down here, actually, I'm gonna grab a darker brown. I like my ground espresso. And I'm not even going to use the stencil part for this part down here. I'm just going to blend these together. You guys are being awfully quiet out there. Lauren, it was so good to see you in Mesa. I wish we could have hung out more. Oh, and Evan loves his shirt, by the way, so good job. Okay, so I blended those together. I have a little line right here that I want to break up, so let me find my little tiny blender. Yeah, I'm really glad he likes it. I showed it to him and I was like, here, my friend picked out this shirt for you. If you don't like it, it's okay. You don't have to wear it. I'll wear it. And he was like, ooh, I like that. And he grabbed it. I think he wore it to school the next day. So good on you. Very picky 17-year-old. Very picky 17-year-old liked what you chose. Let me tell you that again. Very picky 17-year-old. Okay, so now that I've done that, I am going to use this mask we're gonna add a little bit more of the darker to it. So I'm gonna grab my black soot, and I'm actually gonna use this little brush again. And I'm gonna wipe this off. So stenciling can be as involved or as uninvolved as you want it to be. Obviously I'm going slightly more involved with this one because I want it to be a little bit more involved. Because I'm making a slimline out of it. It takes a little bit more work because it's only 6 inches and it's not necessarily meant as a slimline stencil, but we're crafters and we know how to remedy that, right? Look how cool that is. I forgot this piece right here on this side. Totally awesome, right? Okay, so now we're gonna use this as a mask. And this is the part I didn't plan out super well, so you're just gonna have to bear with me as I go through this. Because I'm gonna do the background, and so I'm gonna have to do some finagling here on all of this. But it should work out all right. So I'm going to start with my wild honey. Who's all my other quiet people out there? Y'all are so quiet. And I really only have to use this mask like one time because after that, I'll be going up. And this is yellow, so it's not really gonna hurt it. I did pick that by design. I was like, if I start with yellow, then I'm not gonna have to worry so much about it. So I was partially smart when I did this. But I also don't want to mix these colors a ton, so thus the mask. It is a quiet sort of day, huh? I was thinking of switching my house over to fall because it's officially spooky season today. It's October 1st. I was thinking of switching my house over to fall and putting out all my fall decorations and all that stuff, but I have so much work to do. And I think this is going to end up being a working Sunday for me, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, so now I'm going to put these here. We're going to pop into our next ink, which happens to be Crackling Campfire. I'm gonna go with a super light hand. And you guys, I am working on the new Sweet Sentiment coloring paper. This is the teal label coloring paper. And just know if you've already purchased the teal label coloring paper, the next one's gonna be a little bit thicker. We decided that we wanted to make it just a tad thicker. So that's what we're gonna do. So it is currently being cooked up right now. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Okay, with Distress inks, just so you know, I go back and forth a lot. To really make those colors blend. Nice smooth gradients. Okay, so that one. Then I move them down on my holder so I know that I already used them. Thanks, Lauren. This is aged mahogany. In distress ink, it's a very pretty, like almost plum colored red. In the distressed oxide, it's like a brownish red, like a brick red. So they do react differently with the different additives in them. And then I'm going to go back to my crackling campfire. Ooh, it's so pretty. Then I'm going to grab the wilted violet. Which is probably a little bit unexpected, but I feel like it really just adds that layer of depth. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Okay, then I'm gonna go back to my black soot, and I'm gonna put those right in the middle, and I'm just gonna kind of hit the edges just a tiny bit to kind of make a vignette. Double Mesa. What do you guys think? The reason I'm using distress ink instead of oxides is I want that vibrancy of color. So the oxide has an additive in it that makes it kind of, how do I describe it? Like chalky a little bit, which is a little bit of a misnomer because I hate things that are chalky, but the oxide has that additive to make it water react even more. So when that happens, it creates a hybrid and kind of reduces the pigment just a little bit. So with these distress inks, they don't have that extra additive, and so they prevent it from doing that. But you notice the browns that I used were oxides. So with these browns, it gives them a little bit more grainy, a little bit more texture on these, and then these will go much smoother. And again, that's just because of the additive in them. Now, if I were to spray this so that they would water react, you would see that the oxides will water react even more. They will push the water away and give you bigger dapples, where the distress ink itself you can actually use as a watercolor paint. And that's more why I have these, is because the distress itself, I use them for watercolors. But I have all of both sets. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do, oops, I forgot one simple step here. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I have my candy cup, and I have, this is just Liquitex basic acrylic. You can use whatever acrylic you want. And I am going to put a little bit here. You don't need very much, just a little dollop will do ya. It's probably even too much there. I'm gonna take my water and I'm gonna give it a good spritz, couple spritzes, and then I'm gonna dilute that. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to my mask. And I really should have like protectant like all over my stuff, but you know, I don't. I like to run fast and loose with all this. And I'm just gonna set this here for right now. I'll come back in and flip-flop them so that they work. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up a bunch of this. Wipe this off so I don't get paint on my mountains. Set this on this side so I can get stars all the way down here. Aw, thanks, Paula. Ooh, look at that. This one looks like a meteor. Okay, so then I'm gonna set this over here. And then I'm just gonna wipe this up. Again, this is acrylic, so it should wipe up fairly easily. I always take the majority of it off with a tissue, and then I grab like a wet wipe to clean the rest. And then I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off my stencils since I'm here and I have this wet wipe and I hate to waste. Okay, good deal. And then I'll just clean my brush and my cup a little bit later. So I'm gonna set that off to the side. Then since this is wet, I'm gonna grab a tissue. You guys see I'm a very clean crafter. I like my workspace to be super duper clean. Okay. Look at how cool that looks. I like the randomness of using the toothbrush. It just gives you a more random splatter, I've found. So I have big ones, I have little ones, I have a comet. I really like all of that. That's probably gonna get covered up though, because I'm gonna put the girl in the middle of it. But hey, you know, what else? So I'm gonna grab my bear. We're gonna glue this puppy down. I know it seems like I use a lot of glue, but it looks like a lot more on the screen than it actually looks in person. I chose the perfect brown for this, which makes me wicked happy. Archie. Hey, there's a mail person, a U.S. Postal Service person in my neighborhood on a Sunday. So weird. Okay, so now that that's glued down, what I'm gonna do is, ooh, Oh, what I'm gonna do is... I actually had volume pop up on my computer. Oh my gosh, stop it. Okay, so I have these cool little, these are from our laser cut words, and I used one yesterday. I'm gonna use another one today. So this says, happy birthday. And I wanna color it to match what I have going on here. So what I'm gonna do is I probably won't even open my inks anymore. What I'll do is I will just grab the brush and use what's left on the brush. I'm sorry if I'm shaking the camera. Might use this. There we go. I swear the mail dude is literally just like spinning donuts in front of our house. He cannot figure out where he's going. Now you can color these with Copics. You can color them with inks like I'm doing. You can color them however you want. Ooh, those are so cool. And then I'm going for the bright yellow. Fun. So fun. Okay, so then we're gonna glue these down. Now that I've bent them all out of shape and stuff, I mean, let's glue them down. Sounds like a great thing, right? So I'm gonna start with happy. Nope, I lied. I'm gonna eat that frog. I'm gonna start with birthday. So I'm going to start by lining this up here. I'm going to lay these all down. Not too shabby. Stretch that just a little bit. Now this is barely art glue, so I'm not really worried about this glue on the black. I'm going to take off some of the bigger chunks just so that they don't stick to everything. But this glue dries invisible, so don't really have to worry about it. I don't have to do major cleanup like I would with some other glues. All right. Now we're gonna grab happy. Is anybody else's brain reeling that it's already the 1st of October? It just seems crazy to me. All right. So now I like to give my card a little bit of dimension. So I'm gonna pull out my Sweet Pops. And I'm gonna stick way too many of these on here, 'cause that's what I do. I like using a ton of Sweet Pops because I don't like it when my cards like bow down in the middle when you touch them. So that's why I use so many, and I like the convenience of the Sweet Pops being in little rectangles. I cut them to different sizes. As you can see, I take my roll of them and I cut the roll into all the little rectangles and then just put them in a, put them in a container like this. That's one of those photo boxes. Sandy has a cute little mason jar that she keeps hers in. Some people just keep them in the little Ziploc bag that they come in. Some people keep them on the roll. I mean, it's just great because they are so versatile. They work to your needs. All right, so there we go. Put all those aside. Take my card front. Now, I generally go like this a couple of times so that my card will lay flat. That way I can line this up properly. I want to use this side. I know, sorry, I'm a little bit anal retentive about lining this up. Okay, now I've left this big space over here. That's by design. I have a reason for it. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to take my my espresso and adhere all those Sweet Pops. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put this right here. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So this is going to go as close to that edge as possible without showing through. Just like that. And I'm going to double it up. So I have another one that I've cut. And then this one just gets one regular one right there. And then that way, this doubles up. Oh, it's too far. Well, I have to start again. Okay. Where's my scissors? So, we're gonna try that a second time. Putting these a little further out there so this doesn't hang off the side of the card. I just don't want it to hang off the side of the card. But it still needs to have some structure behind it. There we go. That one's too wide. We're gonna use this one. Boop. And so that I don't have my big fingers in the way, I'm gonna use that. There we go. Pull this off of here. All right, now we're cooking. Perfect. Okay. And then she's gonna be right there. And again, I'm going to use my tweezers just so I have my hand out of the way so I can kind of see. And then my little Howdy, I think I'm going to hit with some color. And I'm gonna put some of this red at the top. I guess I could hold it with my tweezers since they're sitting right there. Okay. And then this one, I'm just gonna put some glue on. Because I have this cute little ribbon made out of rope that I'm gonna put right there. Oh my gosh, what do you guys think? Do you like it? I think it's super fun. It's a great way to use your stencil even more ways. You know, make it stretch into a slimline. Even though I mismeasured and my slimline's a little bit off, but whatever. I mean, you forgive me, right? And I just think it's super duper fun. It's a fun way to make things go further and use stuff in a manner other than directed, which you guys know I am a fan of. And don't forget the little bears, the gummy bears that are flat on the back and all glittery and stuff are in, okay, Cheryl, are in the shop right now. We have a ton of different colors, so when you order them, please give me an idea of what color you would like, or I'll just randomly choose one and give it to you. We have some cool camouflage ones. This little guy is going to go on the inside right there, which I think will be super duper cute. I'm gonna cut a piece of white paper to put in there. But other than that, you guys, that's everything. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for hanging out on this Sunday morning. Don't forget to check out the laser cut words. We have some Christmas ones. We have some birthday ones. We're getting more and more. This is from the Howdy stamp set, so you can definitely feel free to check that out. And I am going to go have a cup of coffee because my coffee has now gotten cold. So yeah, boo. Boo for cold coffee. Anyways, I will see you guys all. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a live tomorrow, but I'll see you all next weekend for sure. So have a wonderful day and I'll see you soon. Toodles.